Hello! It's your favorite apostates.
I almost said I'm McKay. I'm Jordan.
I'm McKay.
That was backwards.
Yeah, I did it backwards.
It's fine.
Everything is on its head still. As you can see by the weird looking use your imagination. I was going to say use your imagination, but the weird thing on the back. Anyway, we have a giveaway that we're going to talk about later in the video with Bellesa. Stay tuned on that. But as you can see, we're in a new place. Things are still getting set up. We are going to do a backdrop and everything like that. So right now we're washed out as hell, probably. Hopefully I can do a little bit of color correction and breathe some life back into this. But right now we've got this background. And it just kind of is what it is.
So sorry.
So sorry, everybody.
I have a beloved bologna in my lap.
Yeah, we've switched it up. We have a sofa now that... it's better than the office chairs, but it does not lend well to hiding the height difference.
It is true.
Sorry, everybody. Let's talk about our giveaway that we're doing with our friends Bellesa, and then we'll get on with it. Our friends over at Bellesa are literally sending free vibrators and gift cards to everybody who signs up for our giveaway.
So you can't lose. Bellesa is a bi women company, and they will meet all of your sexuality needs because they provide multiple things such as toys, or as if you're known around these parts, they're referred to as tools. You also have access to erotica, and you have access to education on all of these things, and that is a well-demonstrated need.
All in one spot.
It's pretty awesome. One spot.
Bellesa's mission is to empower everyone to embrace and celebrate their sexuality, and that aligns, I would say, pretty nicely for a lot of the things that we talk about on this channel.
Agreed. This is the Pebble. It is so cute. It comes in this little case. How adorable. We love it. Keep it nice and compact. Fits in your side table in your bedroom. Fits in your bathroom drawer. It's perfect. Conveniently, it is ergonomically built to fit into your hand quite nicely. So it is not awkward to hold. It does not have any annoying pattern modes. If you know, you know. And it has two functions, suction and vibration. Both are controlled independently, and both of them are your friend.
Also waterproof. I don't know if we mentioned that. So big, and it charges right in the case.
Yep.
Who could ask for more? Bellesa also sent us over a new one called Thrust, which is new to us. I don't know if it's new, but it's got awesome features. It's got the length. It's got the exterior stimulation, both of which you can control independent of each other. It's got good battery life, and it's USB rechargeable. So that's a plus. You probably already have a similar charger for the thing. It just sticks in the back here. And of course, waterproof.
Lux.
As always, it's the deluxe experience. This has been a long time coming. Bellesa used tons and tons of community feedback in order to craft this. So it is a product by the people for the people, honestly, and it could be yours. So I'm going to put a link down here on the bottom of the screen. You can type it in if you're the visual kind of person. I also have a link down in the description where you can go and you can enter to win one of these fabulous toys, possibly, or you're going to win a gift card. Either way, you put your email in, you win something. I mean, it's foolproof. It's awesome.
So thank you again to Bellesa for sponsoring this video and enabling us to participate and give it back to the people.
Hell yeah. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, we can get started for realsies. Thank you for bearing with us. Today we're going to do a reaction video. I don't know, I feel like the sponsor was pretty... It goes in... I think every time we partner up with Bellesa, we also talk about Girl Defined.
So it's just become...
It's almost like a meme at this point.
It is. So you know what we had to do. So we've been largely out of the loop on a lot of things because of moving and me graduating and all of that. So we've been largely out of the loop on a lot of snarky things, especially. So I'm just now coming around to see like more details about the life update live that Bethy and Dave did. And so I came across that. I said, why don't we react to it? And now we're here. So
it's been a journey, and yeah, don't shame us because we've been out of the loop. It's honestly just been so crazy, and we've constantly been in the, oh, what project are we going to do tonight situation, because you can't hardly get anything done with the toddler going crazy. But let's do a little transition. We'll get right into this, and we'll see what's going on.
Okay, so this was pulled from Bethany Beal from Girl Defines Instagram. This was a recorded live that is still available and on her Instagram page. This was from the beginning of May. I maybe saw a snippet or two here and there. This was right before we moved, and so I'm not
Things were crazy.
Super caught up in all the happenings here. But let's give some disclaimers. So we both firmly are aware and understand that Bethany and Dave are human beings existing in our human space, and this is not meant to, when we do these types of videos, sometimes we get comments from people that are like, this is mean, and this is bullying, and this is, and like, yes, I understand why you would comment that, but here's the thing. There's a difference between bullying and criticism. And what we do is leverage a lot of criticism against people who perpetuate harm, which includes these two. And we're also going to make fun of them a little bit because that's also just in jest, and it is what we do. People make fun of us and send us death threats all the time. It's fine. You put your life on the internet, this is what you get. So sit down, shut the fuck up, and deal with it. That's my disclaimer.
Anyway, I'm going to end up probably cutting some of this stuff out because it was a live thing. It's not edited or anything like that. So if it jumps around, there you go.
Hi, y'all.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome. We've been wanting to do this for a while now. We've actually had this scheduled like different times, and I never actually did it because I just kept like getting tired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was looking forward to it twice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, also, keep in mind we are analyzing relationship dynamics in motion, right? So this is not a full picture of their entire relationship. We understand that this is meant to be funny, and people make assessments about our relationship all of the time. And so just know that they don't exist in a vacuum. We're aware of that.
I think that he was looking forward to it.
She's like, we'll do it tomorrow. And then it got to tomorrow, and I was like, we doing it? She's like, nah, I just tossed it up in the air. I didn't really feel like it. And the next day, I was like, we doing it?
I tossed it up in the air. What does that mean?
What is that?
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like it.
So we're doing it now. A lot of people have wanted to know more specifics about some of the stuff that we shared in our podcast and just some of the stuff that he's been sharing. So I put up a little Q&A box, and
Oh, her favorite. A question box on Instagram.
Yep, I have all of those questions. So if you have a question that you want to ask, you can put it in the little Q&A box. But yeah, we're just
so
going
many
to
questions.
updates mostly through the questions that y'all have asked. So that's what's going to happen here. And Audrey's hanging out in her crib with some of her toys. So hopefully she'll be happy, girl. Anything you want to say to the group?
I really don't have much to say to the group other than the prompts. What the
Okay.
prompts bring forth.
So we're going to go straight into the questions. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Let's see. Okay, question number 1. How often do you guys go back to see Dave's family?
Not very often. Maybe about once every year and a half or so. Maybe.
Yeah, you know, tell them like where they live or...
Not really.
Did they not
Bethany's
discuss
like-
any of this prior?
No, they did it. Bethany's like, you want to
That
dox
was a
yourself
rhetorical
and your
question.
family?
Yeah. Tell them the street address, babe. Tell them the street address. Tell them how to get there from the highway.
sites you'll see along the way. GPS coordinates.
Right.
They live far away.
They live many states away.
Many states away, and so it's difficult.
That's
but
fair.
Your sister and brother-in-law and our nephew, they were just here right before was born, and so that was really cool.
Yeah, that was great. Right after it was great to see them.
We just barely moved in. Yeah,
I care deeply about this information.
We're the only ones. We're the only Beal family.
Obviously, we're making a whole response reaction video to it.
I'm deeply invested in this.
And my whole family is here, and so we just see my family a lot more because we live extremely close to them.
Yes, we know.
I would love to see your family more.
That's great.
That's great.
That's great, babe.
Keep going.
Thanks for the input.
I would see my family more if it were more convenient.
Okay. How many children do you hope to have? I'm like interviewing you. Why am I doing this?
Well, because the format is all questions. It's always like it's questions.
Do you like that?
That's like an interview. Oh my god. Asking questions like an interview. Okay.
It's almost like she grabbed a man off the street and was like, "Do you want to participate in this?" And he's like, "Okay."
I think
That's what this feels like.
That's what they need to transition their content to, is just man on the street.
No,
shit.
Paul and Morgan are doing that.
They're doing man on the street?
Yes.
Oh,
unfortunately for everyone.
Oh, that's awful. I'm glad I live here in the West and not South. God.
How many children do you hope to have?
Well, earlier I was like, "Do you have anything to say?" And you were like, "No."
Well, no, because there's a difference between answering a question like 25 or a conversation
25.
starter.
Yeah. Okay. Conversation starter.
What's funnier than 24?
Oh my god.
25.
I'm going to edit him in.
To have, like, how do you think about children? Or what do you want?
Yeah.
You know, how do you think about how many children you want to have?
How do you think about how many?
Ended. It's just a little.
What?
We haven't done a live.
I'm telling you. This is like pull the stranger off the street behavior.
I hope to. You know what? I kind of want a break. I'm just being honest with you. You know, it's just hard. my
A child
feelings
having break?
are multiple. So on the one hand, I love kids, and I love the ones we have, for sure. And hard to imagine life without them, and they're great.
Yeah.
But in the future, moving forward, you know,
Okay.
it's just like a year. It's like a year and a half of your life, and everything's different. And you know, we've been trying to work on a lot of things together as a couple, and it does. I think.
Is she okay? What is she?
She looks like, did somebody pour ice water down her back? Or
I swear to God, if the attention is not completely on her, she like can't handle it. It's like manifesting in like bizarre behaviors, like when she hits herself in the fucking head with the boulder.
Right.
When Kristen was, or when she's looking at her nails while Kristen's talking about her infertility.
Honestly, we should do a live like this. I want someone to react to a live that we do like this, the way that we react to this. And then we will react to that reaction. That would be perfect.
I mean, here's the other thing is like we're giving them a lot of shit, but there's also this dynamic of Dave isn't usually on camera with her. And so I think there's some awkwardness here that they're not used to. So, I mean, we'll give them that, but it's still fucking funny.
Having the babies that bring up a lot of really great things to work on.
The babies.
I also think that, you know, it's difficult to find the time. So, you know, it'd be nice to maybe have like a year or two between the next pregnancy.
Wait, it's difficult to find the time for what? Baby making or?
Bethany.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna shut my mouth.
But I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
all things being equal, tres, quattro, maybe.
Oh yeah. I mean,
All things being equal.
My is the tres quattro.
Okay, you can't be
What?
hating on those of us out
Um,
here who cannot pronounce Spanish things like you,
I'm
Mr.
gonna.
Fluent, dropped into Honduras and had to
I'm
learn
sorry. I'm gonna hate.
my ideal number. I used to want a much bigger family, but now I like.
it. 4 isn't big.
We just had our second, so it's not like if I were like 22, that would
I'm
be different.
almost the age Bethany was when she got married.
He's almost 30.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
34. What's it like being 34?
It's fine. I think that it's hard because, like, on one hand, you're
What the hell was
Okay,
that?
so this stands out to me as like a subtle, not like a dig, but like kind of, because if you know anything about Bethany, you know how fucking fixated she is about her age and like didn't get married until she was 30 or however the fuck old she was, and she was older than everybody else, and she's so damn insecure about it. And then Dave comes out here and is
no.
like, how is it being 34? Like, really, dude?
Yeah.
Like, that's a touchy
I don't
subject for her, and you're
know.
kind of pushing it a little bit.
if we, if you have children more quickly, then you can move into like them growing up and stuff. But also, it took us a long time to get pregnant, and stay pregnant between Davey and Audrey. So for me, I'm kind of like, how long can we get pregnant again? Can we stay pregnant? And I mean, we've talked about this. Going through miscarriages, all of that is definitely more difficult for the woman because your body's like physically going through it. But I also, if it would be helpful for us to take some time so I can just like really get good health and can avoid
He's pulling a
some of that
Bethany
again.
right now.
Really, though.
They really are meant for each other.
Maybe that would be cool. But because that was very difficult going through all those miscarriages and all of that. So
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for me to say. Like, ooh, brute, but yeah, there are a lot of considerations, of course.
Yeah, what was your contribution, dog? 30 seconds. I only speak from experience, so I can hate like that.
like, if God didn't give us any more children and Audrey and Davey were all we had, I just feel so grateful. Like, they're such amazing.
They just turned out to be really cool.
They're so cool.
They're really
so
cool.
I just feel so grateful. Okay. As I'm scrolling, if you see any you want,
Bring up the next quest
bring up the next question.
and turn it into an open.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, this is what we had. We actually had a big... Dave asked Bethany how she feels about killing cockroaches.
Oh, this is I love. So you
About what?
Killing cockroaches.
Bruh.
want to show you a couple times. How did you feel about killing cockroaches?
Well, we're sitting in the very room where I found a cockroach. So the fact that I am here is, I'm very brave.
That's true. Where did you find the cockroach?
What is
I was
happening
not
right
expecting
now?
a matinee. What the
Oh
fuck?
my god. This is like so... Watching the two of them interact is so different than anything else we've seen.
Right?
Like, they're so bizarre together.
We haven't seen another one, so I just found... We get sprayed regularly with the bug sprayer guy. But I was up here because, like, all of Audrey's clothes are in, like, massive piles because I got tons of hand-me-downs from Melissa, my sister, from her daughter Amelia. So I just haven't, like, I've organized, like, half of them. So I came up here to find her a clothes out of the clothes pile, and then I look over and there's a massive roach. And then...
It was really big.
Yeah. When you say it's big, it's big.
It was very large. Right there.
But you cleaned it
That's
up.
what she said.
It was on his back. Guys.
So Dave
It
tried
was
to
moving a
bribe
little
me.
bit. It was just moving a little bit when I came to exterminate.
He tried to bribe me. He was like, okay, what can I give you to go clean up the cockroach?
Yes.
He was like, I'll pay for you to go get a massage.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes,
Like,
'cause
Oh my god, dude. It is...
It sounds like she has a
I'm not
big
gonna-
fear. Like,
No. Was he not wanting to do it?
well, that's what I'm saying.
I
Is
thought
like
he
it's
was-
kind of insensitive if your wife has like a
Yeah.
deep fear and you're like, how much can I pay you to go do it yourself? Dumb bitch.
Just take care of it. I don't know. I'm not one to judge. I know that some people...
I have
I
a
fucking
cockroach
hate-
phobia, so
I fucking hate cockroaches. When I was on my mission in Honduras, we would use the off that they gave to spray us so we wouldn't get mosquito bites, and we would just flamethrower all of the cockroaches in our house. It was the best way to do it, honestly.
Money is shared, but it's different when you're like, someone's like giving you permission. But still, I was like, nothing. I don't want anything. Just pick up the cockroach. So.
Yeah, because I was asking, like, what incentive can I give you to conquer this fear, to go kill the thing?
Oh. God damn it.
There was no price, apparently.
There was no price. So, yeah. He did turn into my counselor after that. And you were like, the
like,
Bible talks about fear.
Because I'm trying to speak your language, our language, but you really connected. That's what.
As the Christian, what?
Well, no, as the Bible, as like the biblical counseling lady. So it's like there's a verse for that. Here's the verse.
Okay, because if I'm gonna go get counseling, I tend
Loving
to go
the voices,
more
actually.
toward, like finding a biblical counselor.
And biblical meaning
like under the kind of like ACDC, meaning like it's like a specific group that does stuff, and that stuff.
Hello.
What's ACDC?
It's Therapy Corner with Jordan.
What up, Jordan?
So let me just give this caveat here that I don't think there's anything wrong with pursuing a counselor that exists in your religious or spiritual views or interests. I don't have an issue with like things like Christian counseling or things of that nature, so long as the person, the counselor, went to a legitimate university that is accredited for their counseling program, whether that be marriage and family therapy, social work, licensed professional counselor, whatever it is. They have to have gone to that accredited school, and they have to be either fully licensed or associate licensed, at least. Because if they don't have those things and it's just like Pastor Joe and he talks to you out behind the barn, like, this is not therapy. Okay, like, I'm not saying that there's no value into talking to Pastor Joe out behind the barn, but it is not clinical. It is not legitimate mental health help. And so I would much rather, and the counseling organization that Bethany's talking about, I haven't done too much reading into them, but I know when I read about them.
About classic rock band ACDC?
No, she was not.
Really
But when I read about them, I wasn't a super fan, so I might change my mind in that. I probably won't. I'll have to do some more research. And I don't have fucking time for that right now. So just listen to my opinion in that. If you find a counselor that vibes with you, that's amazing. I pursue that. Find somebody that matches your vibe, but only if they are qualified to do what they're doing.
I guess it's all about covering your ass, because if there's nobody to hold them accountable for making a really bonehead move or giving bonehead counseling that the results are harmful, then you're kind of on your own.
I see the value. Sucks. I work with religious people. I work with religious clients, and I see the value in people using those tools to better themselves and to use this as a support and to rely on. And I absolutely see that. But I would also, like, in this case, want a counselor who can speak beyond. There's a Bible verse for that. Because while, yes, that might be helpful, like, Bethany can Google it and go find it herself. So
yeah, don't pay someone to do something that you can do.
No. So, like, get somebody who can help beyond that. And maybe he's reducing it down to less than it actually is. But this has been Jordan's Therapy Corner. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Interpretation and theory about the Bible and how it should be used.
So we have different perspectives on that.
Which is great. And I really appreciate what she's done to work on herself and everything like that. And I mean, it's like a language thing. If this is your language and speaks your language and that's how it's effective, and that's what's effective in your life, then we might as well contextualize.
Yeah, no. Okay.
So are you going? Wait, no.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, what?
She wasn't thrilled with that.
Your fear of roaches. I'm not always going to be here to protect you, babe.
Hopefully. At the end of the day, if I need to kill a cockroach, I will. Like, if there is a live cockroach in our house and he's gone at work, and I know if I don't kill it, it's going to get away and, like, eat us in the night, I will kill it. Like, I've killed cockroaches.
Because I did, like, a scenario, kind of like a trolley problem for your roaches. Like, if you had one of your children, if there was a roach in between you and your child, and they were about to be run over by a car, would you step across the roach?
I would smash the roach.
to save your child.
That is like overkill on the
I
metaphor,
have
but
roses before.
okay.
And I have, but it's like I knew it was pretty dead, like or on the verge of like being dead, and so I knew it wouldn't disappear before Dave got home to get it. It was just really big, but I would kill it if I needed to. So okay,
Just trying to do like exposure therapy over
let's
here.
see.
Leave that to the professionals.
Okay. This was a question answered on here. These are your favorite types of questions.
Did you have fun sexually before marriage, even though you saved yourself for it?
For it.
What does that mean? Did you have fun sexually?
What does that mean?
Tortured sexually.
What does that mean?
So, like
What?
full of anxiety and guilt and all that.
Expand.
Oh, okay. Well, I was constantly worried about crossing boundaries. I was constantly worried about losing control of myself. Everyone losing their minds.
Okay, but he's on an important thread here.
Yeah.
I was so worried. I've been told and kind of received an idea that that's what will happen to you. Like, get in this moment, and then you're going to lose your freaking brains, and then you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. And that never happened.
Dang, I wonder who would say things like that. Definitely not your fucking wife, my dude. Not in books or anything like that.
I mean,
along the similar lines, not
Yeah.
like verbatim, but
no, but that's what it is. I mean, he just described purity culture, and that's across multiple religions and denominations, and that's essentially what it is in Mormonism also, like if we boiled it down to like its most simple contextual argument. But the thing that I picked up on at the very beginning of this is I feel like the two of them are starting to diverge. I don't know if they were ever on the same page because it's Bethany, but the two of them are starting to diverge in some of their opinions on things, and that kind of keeps coming up. But also it's interesting to me because sometimes when she asks him questions, she is so stunned by his response. And I'm like, have you guys really never talked about this? Like, it just is so uncomfortable to me to like, because obviously there's things that we've never talked about. I mean, like random things, but like important things like, how did you feel about this? Like, it seems like, I don't know. It just seems weird to me.
to find a topic that we've never spoken of is like, you have to dig deep. Like today, I learned about Jordan's Mormon Energy t-shirt. I'll throw it up there because Jen, Fundy Fridays, brought it up. I had no idea. And honestly, if I had known prior to, I don't think I would have gone through with it.
You were literally on a mission
cringe.
when I went.
That is also mega cringe, but it's a different kind of cringe. Okay? Get it straight.
And we would be in moments, and you would be. I'd be thinking like, if I cross the line right now, I think I might be able to get away with it. And then I was like, but I'm not gonna.
Because I was like this. Oh.
But then I was constantly like, I would go home.
Not gonna.
I would go home and I would just be like, did I cross a line? Did I do something I shouldn't have done? I was just so much. It was ridiculous.
So what would you do differently if you went back in time?
If I went back in time?
Yeah. No.
I would say,
Just
get
go
it
through
together,
with it,
man. I don't know. I don't think I would have made nearly as big a deal about it.
Yeah, I mean, the funny part is y'all probably think, like, I made the biggest deal of it.
Yeah.
He made a bigger deal of it. You made a bigger deal of it.
He was
Like,
the
he
man
wasn't
and made a big deal about it.
And that's the tea.
Damn.
I mean, for them to be like having this discourse does tell me that they were playing a little close to the line there.
They were playing with fire, Jordan.
Which their definition of playing with fire and ours is probably very different, but it is interesting.
Yeah. Before we go on the topic of them talking and teaching and grifting purity culture, who was it that was saying, we didn't ever talk about that? People always bring it up that we have it in our books or whatever. I think it was Kristen.
I thought it was Bethany.
One of the two. They were saying that that's not what they were saying. Do you need me to pull up book, page, and fucking paragraphs? Because
I'll do it.
I will point it out for you. Because you're either like so lost in the fucking sauce with your grift that you don't even remember what you wrote because it's just word soup, which it is. Or you're just intentionally missing the point. Sorry, we have a cat.
Sorry, Thomas has made an appearance.
Anyway,
a wild Tom has appeared.
Yeah, if you want me to point shit out, I have one of your books that we bought secondhand, and I will point it out in that one. And there's multiple ones, so I'm very willing to help.
And you were like, I don't want to do that until we get engaged.
Okay, well, let's expand on that. That is fair enough. I was more strict.
Yeah.
But my boundaries were completely arbitrary, and like I don't know what boundaries I'm supposed to have. So I'm like in a
How do you be more strict if
What
your
is playing with
boundaries-
fire if you can't even hold hands?
Yeah, I don't
Like
know.
gazing at each other lovingly? Like I don't understand.
Gazing into eyes.
I don't understand.
really strict boundaries, and then I would hold to them really strictly.
Very strict.
And then, just like, because we need boundaries, I guess. And Bethany would have more, like, internal, like, I feel like this is the line, or I feel like that's the line. And so that, for you, was much more clear, and when you're crossing your lines and stuff. And I'm always like, I was just a lot more relative about it, and just like, well, then you have to just pick one, and it was just, I mean, given our stage of development at the time, it's probably about the best we could have done, given what we knew.
I think it's, we had a lot of fun and we had a lot of attraction. There was a lot of tension there,
There was
nice.
It was fun. Like, I like to look at Bethany, but I was so careful, Even being in a relationship, it's like, I had a really hard time understanding the difference between like sexual desire and sin.
You and everybody else, buddy.
It's almost as if it's like baked into the fucking contract.
Crazy.
Crazy.
So I think we had a lot of fun, and I think we had like a lot of sexual tension and stuff. But
we had attraction, but it was just it was just filled with. For me, it was just filled with so much ambivalence and guilt.
Yeah.
And,
I think definitely you had more of that than I did. I was more like, I appreciated more of the clarity. So there were some moments where I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. But, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's like we got married and,
I don't know if I'm sorry. I don't know if I fucking believe this because of all that. I mean, just the little shit that we read in her book. It seems like she was just in a constant struggle. I don't know. I will take her word for it, but it seems to conflict what she was writing. Maybe what she was writing in the book was just fucking nonsense that she was using to sell their shit. I don't know.
It'd be nice.
But, we had some good dates and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of fun parts of it, but it was just a testament to my own immaturity more than anything else. You were a lot of fun,
I like you.
Nice, cute dresses. And
You were a lot of fun, babe. Not anymore, but you were. You had your moments.
He just said he wasn't supposed to look places where he wasn't supposed to.
Voyeur. Whoa, dude.
Because it's so much, it's like, you're supposed to be attracted to this person, but like not too much, or you're not supposed to, I was so confused.
Yeah.
And the people we would talk to that were pretty conservative, they seemed to have it all worked out.
Yeah.
And then every so often I get one of them strict people, they would be like, maybe you need to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, that was interesting, is the people who were probably would be considered like the most conservative when it comes to like dating and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They were basically telling Dave like, just, you might need to like relax a little bit.
Because I was going out with guys, I was asking them like, is this sin? Is this
He was going out with guys? Dang, dude.
a problem?
We love it.
Am I doing something wrong? And they were like, normally, if a guy's sharing, you're kind of like, well, you need to work on this. And that's kind of what they would start with assuming. And then as I would explain it, they'd be like, oh, I know.
Like,
I don't know if that's a problem.
Yeah. Because like sexual desire and attraction.
Getting turned on sexually.
Yeah.
I was like, is that a sin?
Yeah.
What does that mean about me? So can you imagine how much
Yeah.
pressure that would bring into our marriage, you know?
It's
If I have such a
Seriously.
such a confused view of my own sexuality as something that is going to like go crazy at some moment that I don't expect.
Oh, sissy.
That I mean I do identify with a lot of what he was saying. And there were some worse parts about it growing up Mormon, because the aspect where he felt like he could approach people and be like, is this a sin? That was non-existent for me. Because we would have like Sunday school lessons all the time about how awful the sexual sin was. Like in the Book of Mormon, it is the sin that is second to murder and third to denying the Holy Ghost, which will cause you to lose your salvation. So just imagine that. Like, this is the severity of it. If it excludes you or precludes you from being able to attend the temple, being able to publicly take the sacrament, the bread and the water, and then like even doing stuff as far as like saying a prayer in one of the meetings, like being the orator. Like, this is really extreme shit. And I mean, it's a natural part of human nature for a lot of people. Asexual people out there, maybe not. Aromantic people out there, maybe not. But like in situations like mine and other Mormon young men, like, you either bashfully bring this shit up and you take your licks every time when you cross the line, or you just shut the fuck up about it and you lie. So yeah, like, there were no conversations like that. If I had to construct my own belief of what was too far or not, because I mean, there's a lot of up for interpretation kind of stuff. So it's purity culture shit like this is tough. And I'm not saying it's just for the young men or whatever.
But he does make
it harms everybody.
Yeah, and he does make a good point about carrying
Yeah.
that into the marriage, because just like we've seen 40 million times in 40 million different scenarios,
Yeah.
like the on-off switch for sex is a sin, you putrid, horrible, foul being,
Yeah.
and sex is fine and enjoy it is not easy to flip.
Yeah. And I want to reiterate, we are not like everybody needs to sleep with their partner before they get married or even before they cohabitate or whatever. That's not what we believe. We want everybody to be informed in their decision to wait to have sexual intimacy until they're married or whatever, and not be told that they have to
Or be
by
guilted.
somebody, some old weirdo
Yeah.
or anything like that. Sorry.
Pastor Joe.
You went, Daddy? Okay, thoughts on showing kids on social media?
Don't worry, Bethy. I fucking got you.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about that.
Audio.
Audio.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been more like less wanting to show kids on social media.
Yeah. Here.
And yet you
Because,
acquiesce.
I mean, the nature of what Bethany does and everything is just, it's like they can't choose to be a part of some of these controversies, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want them to.
The fucking acknowledgement. We love to see self-awareness, but you gotta go a little further and do something with self-awareness.
Oof.
I want them to, be
Yeah.
fodder for people's, random criticisms and stuff. It's like they're just kids.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Dave. I would never say anything about your kids.
And if people are saying shit about your kids, that's fucked up.
We do not approve of that. I am taking the measures to protect your kid.
And we do that
Don't
for
worry.
people all of the time, no matter how much of a pain in the ass or
Yeah.
how big our disagreements are. Because we have blurred our son's face from the get-go on all of our social media. We do not post pictures of our kid on the internet, period.
I was just telling him today that I've been thinking about that a lot. And I'm actually meeting with my counselor this week, and I want to talk to her some more about that because I think my perspective has been changing on that.
Just throw some Bible verses at you.
Good.
So yeah, that's kind of like
Snaps.
in the works. We're like figuring it out, working on it. Okay.
I don't mean to criticize, but I don't think it's a conversation that needs to go on for very long, and it's not something that takes time to implement.
What is in the Bible about it? Because
you really have a
Davey here
good.
just said throw some Bible verses at you. So like, what is she gonna pull out of there for? Don't show your kids on social media.
Sir, yeah.
Got to get creative.
When you bring it up like that, you make a really convincing argument for allowing your kids to be taken advantage of digitally. So that's true.
Let's see.
She sounds like me.
Go faster.
Okay. Things you two are working on together in terms of your relationship growth.
Ooh.
Let's hear it.
Tea.
Take the cake, and you take the baby.
Okay, I'll take the baby, you take the... My floors are squeaky. Okay.
You're gonna nail it down or something.
My fucking ears.
Well, not like all by myself. You're
No,
gonna.
I'm right here.
Okay.
Hey, sissy. She's tired.
What is it? Things we're working on in terms of our relationship growth. I mean, I believe in openness and that intimacy is like a learned skill, and by intimacy I mean being able to reveal who you are to your partner, and
Nice.
so I would say if there was one thing that we're both working on. Actually, are you working on that?
What am I working on?
Like being able to reveal who you really are.
I don't know, bud. Wouldn't that be something that you...
Are you doing that? What the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to be doing that.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Probably. I mean, typically, the way it works, I think, is that if one person does it,
Yeah.
the other person is sort of...
I love it so much. It's my favorite.
Right. But in a way that's...
It's my favorite.
Not validated by them accepting what you say, but is self. It's just self-validate, so it's like you...
You keep going. I'll hear it.
Okay. Alright.
Oh,
Anyway,
she
so...
fled the coop.
What am I saying? I think intimacy is something strong couples tolerate, not just something strong couples are automatically good at. And by intimacy, I mean being able to reveal yourself. I don't mean getting naked together. I don't mean having sex. I mean actually a deep connectedness, and that's both physically and emotionally. But I think that in order to develop in that area, I have to become able to reveal myself and all of the things that Bethany would find in distasteful. I need to let her into that, and then she needs to do the same thing with me.
I mean, up to this point, couples therapist here. Up to this point, there's nothing that he said that's off base for me. I also generally teach people that intimacy is a skill. Just like most things in relationships, you have to practice it, you have to build it, and intimacy is a spectrum. Sex is all the way over here, and your day-to-day things that you're doing are all the way the fuck over here. Yeah. And so I think there is, and I mean, what he's talking about is emotional intimacy. I mean, he's talking about the emotional being vulnerable aspect of it, and that is an important part of, like, that can be a really big amplifying factor for like improved physical intimacy as well, but the emotional intimacy is a really important part. And so I 100% see what he's saying. I'm curious as to what the distasteful things are that he's talking about.
What do they always say? Foreplay starts when?
Immediately after the
go.
last sexual encounter.
There you go. So if you're not doing anything in between then, and you're like, let's do it, then
Real talk.
Come on, dude.
And we do it in such a way where it's not like a kind of like blackmail situation, which is a lot of couples is basically communication is like a blackmail sort of thing where it's like, I'll share if you share, and I want to share, so you have to. And so that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being able.
I wouldn't say a lot of couples on that. I would say some. I would not say that's a majority.
Show myself to you. Let me show myself to you. And you know, the depth is built through that process.
Yeah.
And so I find that that's the most, for me, that's probably takes the most courage to basically say, okay, here's something about me you might not like, but here it is, and I want you to know this about me.
Yeah.
And I've never done that, and it's turned out bad. Every time I do that, it typically, our relationship and the net analysis gets better. But oftentimes, when I do that, it's something that she doesn't like, and so there's a space of time where there's just a lot of conversation and conflict and stuff as she expresses what she doesn't like, as I reason through. Sometimes I defend myself a little bit, and you know.
I think the hardest time is when we've had this more and more as time has gone on, where we come to a topic or something that we disagree on. So I'm like, I disagree, like, just all around. I don't think that's the best thing. And you might be like, well, I don't have a problem with it, or vice versa, whatever. And so for me, that's been difficult of just like, you know, how do you deal with that? You know, like, how do I deal?
It's been difficult for me to take in somebody else's opinion and not just bulldoze them with my opinion and actually listen to what they have to say.
We all know that Bethy doesn't like to compromise.
Yeah, because I don't want to do something just because she wants it.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing a lot of, and it wasn't good.
Yeah. I mean, I won't share the most recent topic because it's something we're still kind of like processing and thinking through together. So I'm not really about like sharing things when you're in the middle of them, because it's like you're still kind of figuring it out. But it's something we recently went.
That's a good policy, honestly.
I like that.
It was just, you know, it took a long time of communicating and sharing and difficult conversations, and you know, of just both of us coming to a place of like, okay, sticking to what we thought is best and right, and making compromises where we thought we could, and changing our perspective if we felt there needed to be a change, you know. And so it's just, I think that like things we learned through it, I learned I need to be much more much more gracious in my communication, much more believing the best.
It's interesting to me that he said only doing things because she wants me to do them. I can think of various examples of that, but I would be interested in seeing what he's actually referring to.
Yeah. I don't know, it's so... I don't want to speculate.
I don't want to speculate either.
Problem, so.
It's just
like,
interesting.
Obviously, there are things... If they're wanting to keep them private, I'm not going to try and speculate, but...
No, but it is interesting.
It is interesting. Also, Bethy needs to take some pointers. I don't know who she's taking her pretending like I'm listening classes from, because in the last video that we did, it just comes off like she's going at it with her husband when she's trying to pretend like she's listening. But Dave does it so naturally where he's not even like looking at her or anything. He's just going, That's a better...
I mean, I guess it depends.
From him.
It depends. Somebody might interpret his as not listening. I don't know. It's so contextual. Like there are people that critique us on, but like, he doesn't even listen to what you say. And
the
like,
moans and shit.
The moaning.
It was so weird. So
save it for the bedroom, Bethy.
To everybody who listened last episode.
You know, especially if it's something that I think is like wrong, but it's not like something in scripture. But I'm like, for me, I feel like it's wrong, or
it's your truth.
Whatever, I don't know. And so, but realizing
Oh, is he going to poke fun at the your truth kind of thing?
No, but she did.
There, I need to believe the best of him, not like assume the worst or something. So those are my negative qualities in communicating. That came to light that I need to work on. And it's
Oh my gosh, his face.
Through those disagreements that sometimes.
Tell us how you feel, Dave.
It's I need to be better at not thinking you're such a fucking horrible person. Yeah, that's something I need to work on.
Yeah.
You learn those things, and you were gracious to point those out.
Yeah, I'm starting to do that
it.
a lot more. I'm starting to be like, I don't think this is fair, and that's actually offensive.
And I was like,
that.
yes.
And then later on, she's like, I like.
That's offensive.
Okay, well, one that we could.
I mean, to me, most couples struggle with communication in some aspect or another. Like, it's hard not to. But that's just interesting to me in that he's finally, it sounds like he wasn't pointing out things before that he wasn't okay with, and she just kind of steamrolled. And now that he's starting to speak more about the things that he doesn't appreciate, she's starting to get offended a little bit more. Which it is a common dynamic that happens when you're working on building up communication. But it is interesting to me that...
It's hard to put those emotions aside, honestly.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Probably about.
For real?
I'm boosting this audio so we can hear what she said.
She said the real.
Yeah, that's what I asked.
Are they that special? I don't know.
I was gonna share an example, but no, we'll skip it. Okay.
No.
She said the real, I'm pretty
The
sure.
real?
The real I posted. I wonder which one
I
she was
wonder.
referring to.
If anybody knows, link it in the comments. If they've got an idea of what it might
I'm
could
pretty
be.
sure that's what she said. Don't quote me, but that's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah.
Okay, we could watch this for another 4 million hours, but
We're like halfway through, but
we won't because that's just a lot, and you don't want to sit here for that long, probably. So if you've made it this far, God bless you. May the girl-defined gods bring forth purity blessings upon your houses.
may they rain down from the heavens.
May
onto
Bethy's
your
sex cores populate in your internet browser
well-groomed
free
hair.
of charge.
Yeah, there you go. So we're going to wrap it up real quick. It's the new one. Next time I want to have better stuff. So stay tuned. We've got plans for a backdrop. It's going to be, we're going to bring back the praying hands because that's just iconic.
Of course.
But yeah, stay tuned. If this is something that you liked, hit the subscribe button.
Hit it.
Hit the like button.
Hit it.
We appreciate it. It's awesome. You could also consider becoming a member of the channel, which is right next to the subscribe button, which also brings me to the Patreon. If you would like to join our Patreon and become a patron or become a member, it's the same thing on both sides. It's just a little easier integrated in with YouTube membership. But it's the same perks: early access, ad-free content,
Exclusive
content, and
Cooking with McKay videos.
yeah. So you can get access to all the stuff that we've had previously in the link down in the description, or just pressing the membership option. We also have social media, TikTok and Instagram. You can find those. You can find us on those at Jordan and McKay for both instances, or basically anywhere. If you're wondering where we are, you just search at Jordan and McKay and you'll find us.
It's true.
And we also have a merch store with the link down in the description on Fourth Wall. The Etsy stuff is still packed up, so if you do order something, it might be a little bit of an extended wait. And finally, check out our Discord. We have the invite link in the description, a community of awesome people, non-Mormons, never Mormons, ex-Mormons, it runs the whole gamut. A lot of people
kinds.
to converse with, and a lot of topics to chat about. So check that out. But thank you to all of you. It's been a wild ride. We're getting there. We're getting back up to speed. We want to live stream again very soon. I will probably junk the gun on it and just start doing it anyway because I just want to do it. But we appreciate you. We love you. And we will see you next time.